This Giants free agent update is brought to you by Rider University. According to reports, pending a physical, the Giants have agreed to terms with quarterback Drew Lock. Drew Lock, originally the 42nd overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, has already had 2 stops in his NFL career in Denver and Seattle, Paul. Now will compete with Tommy DeVito to be the Giants' backup quarterback to Daniel Jones.
Right, John. A guy who has started a couple of dozen games in the NFL over his first 4 seasons. You mentioned the 2 teams, Denver and Seattle. Remember, he was a part of that Russell Wilson trade involving the Broncos and the Seahawks before last season. The thing about Locke is he is a stand-up pocket passer, not known for his mobility, but known for his timing throws. He's a rhythm quarterback, a rhythm passer, has a good arm, was always known for his accuracy coming out of college, but, did not have all that mobility that a lot of people like to have with these scrambling quarterbacks today. So it was going to take a certain style of team that was going to want to draft him, and obviously the Broncos did. For whatever the reason, he has never fully blossomed into the guy that warranted a number 1 draft pick. So it remains to be seen as the Giants work with him how much potential they think they can get out of him while he is working behind Daniel Jones. He was always regarded as a studious quarterback and a guy who understood systems. So there's a lot of boxes to check here, in addition to him being a young veteran who has some legitimate NFL experience.
Yeah, 6'4", 228 pounds, has a cannon for an arm, has played in 28 games, 23 starts. In his career, over 5,000 passing yards, 28 touchdowns. And, Paul, the game last year that I remember, it was a game where Geno Smith was hurt. He had to come in and start for Seattle. They took on the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. The Seahawks were trying to keep their playoff hopes alive at that point, and they're down 17-10 heading into the fourth quarter. Eventually, the Seahawks get the ball down 17-13 with 1:52 to go. He leads Seattle on a 10-play, 92-yard drive in just under 1:20 seconds. There was a 29-yard touchdown pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba to give the Seahawks the win over Philadelphia in what was a really memorable game. He had a great post-game interview after that game. It was kind of his, I finally had my moment in the NFL type of moment for Drew Lock.
And I think that's exactly why there were some teams who were going to put him back on their radar again. For the first time in 4 years, Drew Lock showed somebody a big flash in a key spot that made them think, you know what? Maybe this guy really does have some of the potential that we thought he did when he came out of school, even though he really had a very indistinguishable career during the first 4 seasons of his pro starts.
And finally, Paul, the Giants now with 3 quarterbacks in their room with Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, and Drew Lock. You usually want to have 3 guys throwing in the spring, so I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the Giants add another quarterback to their room, because Daniel Jones likely not ready to throw and do team stuff at the very least at any point during OTAs. So it'll be curious to see how they decide to fill out this room.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will wind up picking up an undrafted rookie free agent or a veteran on the back end who's still free and looking for a job. You're 1,000% correct, John. We don't expect to see, Daniel Jones obviously is doing well with his rehab, according to GM Joe Shane, but I think it'd be unrealistic to expect him to see him do much during the offseason. So they'll have to get a third arm in here. I could not agree with you more. And that guy will be nondescript. Who knows? Maybe it's Jacob Eason, who was here last year for a cup of coffee, but they'll need to get another arm. It's just a good insurance policy for the Giants, though, to get a young, experienced veteran, and obviously at an economic value.
Yeah, and they'll have draft capital as well if they want to expend the draft pick on a quarterback, too, at some point. So a lot of different options for the Giants as they fill out their quarterback room for 2024. That's your Free Agency update. He's Paul Dottino. I'm John Schmeelk. It's brought to you by Rider University. Stay tuned to Giants.com, the Giants mobile app, and all the Giants social media platforms as we continue to cover the Giants' moves in free agency.